Quite a battle is currently being waged in the Indian courts between Survival International, which fights for the rights of threatened tribal people, and the international mining company Vedanta. Vedanta wants to mine bauxite deposits in the Niyamgiri Mountains in India's Orissa province. Survival International says that the project will destroy the way of life of the Dongria Khond people who live there. I asked Joe Woodman, Survival's campaigner for the Dongria Khond, exactly how the mine would affect them and their environment.
On the environment, the impact will be catastrophic. The area that we're talking about is a chain of mountains, low mountains, the centre one of which has a cap of bauxite on the top. Now, once that cap is taken away, it's effectively like taking a sponge away. All the water is soaked up, all the rainwater is soaked up into that sponge, and that forms that is a source for many streams and rivers, 36 streams and 2 major rivers on which hundreds of thousands of peasant farmers depend.
Now, what about the Dongria Khond people? What impact will it have on them?
To the Dongria Khond, the mountain that is going to be mined is their most sacred place. They worship it as a living god. So not only will any desecration of the mountain be desperately upsetting to them, but also they will be affected directly in terms of their livelihood, for one, because they're very dependent on the forests, and secondly, by the influx of outsiders. Roads are being built through their villages and into the area, and having lots of outsiders come into the area will have a major negative impact on their culture.
Now, are the Dongria Khond protesting themselves, or is it just you protesting?
The Dongria Khond are protesting themselves. They are united in their outrage against this mine and are adamant that it will not go ahead. So far they have protested in the state capital of Orissa, and they will be protesting in Delhi as well. Women have been vowing to lay their children in front of the bulldozers if it comes to that.
Are you encouraging them to do that?
No, we're hoping that any protests will remain very peaceful, but we're also hoping it will not get to that stage and that the mine will not be allowed to go ahead through legal means.
You have taken this to the courts in India. Do you stand any chance of winning?
There has been a long ongoing case through the courts of India, which is currently still being heard at the Supreme Court. There is such overwhelming evidence of the negative impact the mine will have on both the environment and on the Dongria Khond. I think there is a good chance that sense will prevail and that this mine will not be allowed to go ahead.
Are you not just standing in the way of economic progress?
No, I don't think we're standing in the way of economic progress. This is a mine that will function for 20-some years, producing a profit for distant shareholders. It is not what is needed for the development of poor people in India, and it will totally destroy one entire tribe and one entire ecosystem.
What is so distinctive about these people?
They have a very strong sense of pride and of unity, and they have a very specific religion, which to them this mountain is the center point of their religion. They are very distinct people, and they will not survive this mine. It is very straightforward.
Not surprisingly, Vedanta sees things rather differently. I asked Sumanth Kidambi, Associate Director, Investor Relations at Vedanta, how he reacted to Survival's claim that their mine in the Orissa Hills would destroy the Dongria Khond people and their way of life.
Robin, I'm glad you asked me that question. First of all, let me clarify. This mountain range that they refer to, called Niyamgiri Hills, it is actually a series of hills which run for about 250 square kilometers in area. The site where the bauxite mining is proposed refers to only one such hill. We also know that there is no habitation, there are no Dongria Khond people living on this particular hill. In fact, you should know that the Dongria Khond tribe live about 12 to 15 kilometers away from the site of the proposed mine. So I think Survival is basically wrong in saying that it would destroy the tribal's way of living.
If it's not going to affect them badly, why are they complaining?
You see, let me take that question in a different manner. You see, I have been to this area about 2 or 3 times in the last couple of years, and it's very interesting. These people live in absolute poverty, very inhuman conditions, lack of medical facilities, etc. I I'm therefore worried that these sort of campaigns would actually hinder these poor people from benefiting from what is a great developmental project.
But they have been demonstrating.
Well, I guess, Survival has demonstrated against this, but I can just say that the campaign that is being conducted currently is misleading, and all that it would eventually end up doing is prevent certain benefits from accruing to, people who really deserve them in these areas.
They also said that this mountain is sacred. They worship it, and you're taking away something that they worship.
Well, Robin, that's a very interesting question. If you look at the way the bauxite mining is going to be conducted, bauxite essentially is a surface mineral, and we are not going to be really ravaging the entire mountain to sort of get to the mineral itself. So I don't think there is any real danger or environmental damage or destruction that would happen because of our process.
So you're just scraping the surface?
Absolutely.
You're not taking the whole mountain away?
Well, definitely not. I don't think the mining method requires us to do that in any manner.
But maybe it's maybe it's the surface that they worship.
Well, I really can't comment on that.
That was Sumanth Kidambi of Vedanta.